What up, YouTube? It's been a little while since I made a video, and I've been not only obviously moving junk, but watching some other videos and noticing some different approaches that I wanted to share. My thoughts on how to kind of target your audience a little bit better. There's a few ways you can take this, especially if you're struggling to find jobs. If you are doing this full time, this may not be the most target information for you. But if you're starting out brand new, like I did a year ago, a lot of times you have to have one hand on something else, another job, before you can move into doing this full time. So this is a part-timer's perspective. And when I say part-timers, I mean 4 to 6 jobs a week. Some big, some small, mostly by yourself. So when you're doing this part-time, there is a bit of a luxury that you can enjoy, right? You don't have to scramble for every tiny, low-cost or low payout job that's out there. You don't have to do that. Honestly, when you wait for some of those larger jobs, and you go for what is the correct price, don't price gouge, because that sets a very bad precedent. If you're pricing your next job because you got a certain bill you're trying to pay, you're going to fail at this on the long term. You have to make sure you're very fair and balanced. Treat your pricing model as its own entity, not something that directly affects your wallet today. But what I'm trying to say is, like, if somebody is trying to push you lower and lower and get you to compete with other companies, it's not a good idea. It's not a good practice for a lot of reasons, but the main one is that other person may not have the integrity to keep the price at what they're saying, but just try to win the job that day. And you're going to get some contrasting opinions. Some people will tell you, just get every job. For me, I don't necessarily need every job, which is something I'm very thankful for. Which means the jobs I'm able to take have less risk, have higher satisfaction rates, because I'm not misleading anybody by telling them that something will cost less than it actually will. And not only that, but for consistency's sake, if they go to refer you and now they're trying to refer someone else to you because you did such a cheap job for them, and cut so many costs, then the kind of referrals you're going to get are a bunch of other people looking for the same thing, and you're just left there making pennies, and or the wear and tear on your materials is going to catch up with you. You might get more jobs, but you'll make about the same as you would as if you would have just kind of stuck with what your actual costs are. Protect your profit margin, because you're not just trying to stay afloat, you're trying to grow your business. So again, there's a balance there. You have to decide that for yourself. Junk removal is very finicky in terms of different areas that you live, balancing it with the cost of gas and dump costs, payroll, and a variety of different factors. But yeah, if you're tempted to try and compete, and I'll give you a great example. I had a customer who had us come out and quote a basement clean out. First it was a clean out in full. It was a hoarding situation. But then they realized that they just needed a certain amount of stuff out of there so that they could pass an inspection. So then they didn't want us to do the whole thing because the cost to do that was too much. And before I left that first day, they said, hey, your quote is at $1,700. Well, 800 removal company is at like $1,550. And I said, well, that's totally fair. You want to make sure that you're getting your very best price. When I can't speak to their overhead costs. I can only speak to mine. I can tell you that I will be here on the day of the job, at the time of the job. I'm here now. I've seen the material. This is what it would cost to remove it. Often, those prices can change. And if you can get this material out of there for that cost, if I was in your position, I would do that. But if you do change your mind, I'll be here. I'll keep the time locked in case you change your mind for 24 hours, and I hope I have the privilege of serving your needs. And that was it. I left. And that price that I gave, that $17 was a full basement clean out. What ended up happening is they wanted that partial, like I said earlier, so it was significantly less. It was about $780 for the partial because there was biohazard issues. There was all kinds of stuff. So to cut to the chase, they called me back. They said, yeah, that 800 removal company can't get out here at the time they said they could. So we would really appreciate it if you could come back out. They did what you said they were going to do, and they unfortunately can't help us. So I'm happy to help. I let my guys know. I had a feeling that might happen, so I let my guys know to be on call, and they're on call. So we'll be out there tomorrow morning. And they were very happy to have us out. We did a great job. It was definitely a challenging job, but we stuck to our guns and it paid off, right? And that particular job was a referral from a business partner that has led to more referrals. And not only that, we got a good review out of it. So don't be afraid of keeping your prices where they need to be. They need to be where they need to be because of what environmental factors you're dealing with, not because there's some sort of mystical standard out there that's telling you what your prices are. So overall, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you're not sure where you should be, don't worry. A lot of people don't. There's online forums and groups where people share pictures and say, hey, what would you quote for this? What would you quote for this? No two jobs have ever been the same as far as I've seen. One basement clean out is definitely different than another. So take your time, pace yourself, try and have some sort of structure to what you're doing. And by the way, I do digital estimates all the time. I have people send me pictures, and I have them send it to me with the caveat of course, this is just a phone's perspective. We could find more material, things that need to be taken away. But roughly, when we've done jobs like this, it's been XYZ amount. As long as you're okay with some fluctuation there, up or down, we'll be happy to come out and get started. And before we pick up anything, I will let you know, because we'll be there, what the exact price will be. But, I'm going to make sure that I have people with me, so we do have to have like a general understanding that we're intending on doing work that day. So, and everybody's been very cooperative with that. Like, I'm not saying that it'll always work for everybody who tries to do it, but at the same time, it's a way to be honest, and people appreciate honesty. And I said in a previous video, another way in the door is your customer service skills, right? You have to build trust. You have to build trust with people. Empathize with their situation. If somebody has a really dilapidated, biohazard, difficult situation going on, you have to be sensitive to that. Let them know it's okay. We see this all the time. We really get excited about jobs like this because it means that we're able to really help people. And I feel that when I say it, and I mean it when I say it. And if you don't, like, if you have to fake saying that, junk removal might not necessarily be for you, because it is a tough job. Like, you gotta have a strong stomach, you have to have a strong back, and you have to go inside of people's homes and tear stuff out of there, right? Their memories, their possessions. A lot of times, most of the stuff is someone's passed on. You have to be very sensitive to that. I often like to, when I'm going through there, I feel out the situation, make sure they're comfortable to talk about the things that I'm about to say. But, I say, oh, I see they had this. They probably, I love seeing someone who's great card collector. They must have been into sports, and just like connect with people on what you're seeing. It's always interesting. It always tells a story. Every house that we go to, it seems to tell a story. And again, if you see something that looks like it's memorabilia, another great way to build trust, say, hey, I found this old photo book. I'm assuming you probably wanted to keep that, so we set it aside. Or hey, this dehumidifier that's in the basement, it looks like it still kicks on and works. You guys might want to hold on to that just in case you're reselling this home. Make recommendations, but always seem helpful, be very helpful, and that'll get you your repeat business. I barely advertise, and I'm getting plenty of part-time work. So yeah, hopefully this is helpful. Just a quick video today, and if you have any experiences that you'd like to share, please feel free to drop a like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. I tend to keep these rolling, and have yourselves a lovely rest of your week.